The tech giant Meta has launched its new social media app Threads in what is widely seen as a direct challenge to the domination of Twitter. Meta, the parent company of Facebook, said 10 million people had joined the platform in the first 7 hours. Threads is billed as a text-based conversation app that's linked to Instagram. Creating a new social media platform has long been the pet project of Meta's chief executive, Mark Zuckerberg. Many analysts see Twitter vulnerable to competition, particularly in the wake of controversial changes to the platform introduced by Elon Musk since he took over the company last year.
I think Threads is going to pose a huge threat to Twitter because it's coming from the Meta and Instagram family of apps. Instagram has 2 billion users compared to around 250 million of Twitter, so it's about 10 times bigger already. So if only 1 in 10 Instagram users tries using Threads, it's overtaken Twitter in the blink of an eye. The turmoil at Twitter is quite important to note as well, because up until November last year, Twitter did have an active user base. It wasn't growing stratospherically, but since Elon Musk took over, the system itself isn't working as well as it should. Just over the weekend, we saw Twitter go down and then limits put in place for users so that it doesn't break the servers again. So if you're just a regular user, you could only look at about 5 minutes worth of tweets a day. That was the limit that it's putting in place to try and stop it from breaking. That just on its own is enough to send people elsewhere. And there are also many other alternatives. It isn't just about the upcoming Threads. The original founder of Twitter, the inventor of Twitter, Jack Dorsey, has already launched a rival called Blue Sky. And that surged in popularity over the weekend with the Twitter problems too.
Correspondent Lape Olarinoye has been monitoring developments, and she joins us now from London for more on this. Good to have you, Lape. So tell us more about Meta's new app Threads, more of a competition rather.
Well, Thread, of course, is a direct answer to Instagram, where Instagram meets Twitter, really, particularly because since Elon Musk bought Twitter, there have been a lot of criticisms on the way it's been run, how politically charged it has become, and the fact that the most interesting part of Twitter, the verification element, was almost taken away and replaced with a kind of financial reward, if you like. Now, this Thread new app under Meta, of course, is challenging that. It's saying that it's going to be a space where people can speak in a more friendly manner. But the selling point here is that it's directly connected to people's Instagram accounts. Of course, Instagram has billions of users, and the fact that you can directly migrate from Instagram to this new app called Thread means that Mark Zuckerberg is taking advantage of his following on Instagram already, which many other small tech companies don't have. Furthermore, they have extra elements that offer users more friendly ways of manipulating the app, if you like. For example, the character the character list is a lot longer, 500 characters. Thread allows you to type, whereas Twitter is far shorter than that. It also allows longer videos. We've seen that on Instagram with Reels, which is a direct copycat of TikTok. And so we're seeing a lot more elements, but also there's some challenges to Thread. Now, it's not all happy-go-lucky, particularly because of the elements of trending stories. You and I both know that as journalists, we're very dependent on the trending stories element of Twitter, where you can find case studies, you can engage with news, you can see what people are saying. That's not the same on the Thread app. So it focuses on a more communal type of environment and less toxicity that Twitter kind of protrudes sometimes.
We're talking about toxicity. I've literally just downloaded mine, Lape. But let's talk about how big a threat this will be for Twitter. I'm trying to put my bio in there now. I'm going to finish once we're done. But how is this going to be a threat for Twitter?
I think it's going to be a huge threat. I mean, I use Instagram, and of course, I'm sure you do as well. And you know how easy it is to basically take information from Instagram and put it onto Facebook, because they're both owned by Meta. Now, I'm not a big Facebook user. However, when I know that if I want to join Thread, actually, I can get my suggested followers on Instagram on my Thread account. I can also have the same username. It's very user friendly in that sense. It doesn't mean that you have to create a whole new account again. You have to garner all your followers again, because it's very much a seamless process. And that is the unique selling point of Thread. And I think that's what Mark Zuckerberg is capitalizing on. So it will be a huge threat, because users don't have to go through that tedious process of starting all over again, which is what a lot of smaller tech companies and newer social media platforms don't benefit from. So for Twitter, which is becoming a space where people don't feel as though it was what it was like before, the lack of verification, the fact that there's a whole new area for bots and trolls and so on, makes people might want to migrate to Thread. And there is a growing concern about the way in which Twitter is changing drastically under the leadership of Elon Musk. And that is definitely a selling point for many people who are considering leaving to a more user-friendly app like Thread.
Indeed, Lape. Now, tell us more about the rivalry between Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk.
Well, there's been an exchange of words since this launch was announced. I mean, we know that Elon Musk is very vocal. He's very much quite quick to say things, and he has done so far. He has said that, he doesn't think that Thread is going to be anything like Twitter, predominantly because he feels as though Twitter is a space where people who are absolute strangers can say anything to anybody, which many people might not agree with. They might think that actually that's why they want to leave Twitter. In response to that, Mark Zuckerberg has said, they want to challenge those issues on Twitter, and they want to create a safer space for people using Thread. So there has been an exchange of words. They have it is a bit of a big tech competition, and we're seeing that kind of spat play out online. But for now, it's only just an initial user-friendly based app. Is still going to, of course, have different version. It's still going to improve. And also, it's worth adding here that Mark Zuckerberg is capitalizing on his celebrity influence. We know that Gordon Ramsay, popular British chef, has joined, as well as other actors and actresses in Hollywood. So it's an interesting time for social media networks. And it's just almost, I hate to say this, a wait and see how it goes.
Definitely an interesting time. But one thing that I would want to ask is if, there was this whole back and forth about verification on Twitter, where Elon Musk had said, people have to come out and start paying for their badges. Would it be a direct transfer from your Instagram? If you're verified on Instagram, you're automatically verified on Threads. And also, I need to get your Threads handle so I can follow you as soon as this interview is done.
I'm so glad you brought up that question. Well, in answer to your question, it is a direct transfer. So if you are Instagram verified, you're automatically verified on Thread too. So that's what that kind of seamless transition is doing, and encouraging people to migrate quite quickly. And actually, Twitter is becoming slowly becoming a subscription-based app. Even TweetDeck that we all use on our computers to see what people are saying is also going to be a subscription-based element in the next 30 days. So there are changes on both ends, positive and negatives, depending on who's using it. So again, interesting times ahead, but also there's definitely elements to Thread that they're stealing away from Twitter and making it more user-friendly for the masses. And just to answer your question, Shayito, I haven't actually created my Thread account yet, but I'm sure it's going to be Lape B with 2 E's, just like my Instagram.
All right, then Lape Olarinoye, of course, our Rise correspondent reporting live from London.